In the freezing Colorado territory of 1879, Eleanor stood alone at the edge of the train platform, her divorce papers crushed in her trembling hand. Her husband's final words echoed like a curse. "A woman who can't give me children isn't a wife." Steam hissed, boots thudded, and strangers passed her by without seeing the brokenness she carried. She wasn't just cold, she was discarded, unwanted, and utterly lost. She sat on a wooden bench, shawl fluttering in the biting wind. Coal smoke mixed with snowflakes, stinging her eyes. She refused to cry. Tears felt like surrender, and she had surrendered enough already. She tried convincing herself she still had a future somewhere. But the world felt too wide, too empty, too cruel for a woman who had been named useless by the person who once vowed to love her. Then she saw him. A towering man with snow on his coat and mountains in his stride. His boots were heavy, his shoulders broad, his beard rough, but his eyes, they held a warmth she hadn't seen in years. He watched her with a gaze that wasn't pity. It was something deeper, something dangerous, something she wasn't sure she deserved. He stopped in front of her. "Ma'am, are you all right?" "The cold out here can kill." She forced a smile. "I'm fine." His eyebrow lifted. "You're not very good at lying." The honesty hit her harder than the wind. For the first time in years, someone saw through the mask she wore to survive. "What's your name?" he asked gently. "Eleanor." "I'm Barrett Croft," he said. "I live up in the ridge." "Not alone." "I got 9 kids." Her breath froze. 9? She expected chaos or exhaustion in his tone, but all she heard was affection. Like the word kids didn't frighten him. Like family wasn't a burden, but a blessing. Barrett's eyes drifted to the divorce papers. He didn't touch them, didn't judge, just understood. "You don't need to return to whoever hurt you," he said softly. "Being rejected doesn't mean you're broken. Sometimes it means they weren't worthy of you." The words cracked something inside her, something she was sure could never heal again. Tears slipped down her cheek before she could stop them. "I can't have children," she whispered. "He left because I couldn't give him a family." Barrett knelt in the snow, looking up at her. "Then he's a fool. Family isn't blood. Family is love. I got 9 little ones who need that more than anything." She didn't know what shocked her more, his kindness, or the way he said it like a promise. "If you come with me," he continued, "I can give you a roof, a name, and a home where you're wanted. Not for what you can give, but for who you are." Her heart thudded painfully at the offer she never expected to hear. A mountain man. 9 children. A stranger offering a new life. Every part of it sounded impossible. But something about him, his steadiness, his certainty felt like warmth spreading through her frostbitten soul. Maybe hope wasn't dead after all. Maybe it was just waiting for someone brave enough to carry it. "Why me?" she asked. Barrett paused. Snow drifted between them. Then he spoke with a quiet truth that shook her. "Because you look like a woman who's been fighting alone for too long. And because my children don't need perfection. They need a gentle heart. I see that in you." Her chest tightened. No one had ever seen anything good in her. She stood slowly. "If I go with you." "How do we travel?" Barrett smiled faintly. "Not by train. I don't trust anything that runs on fire and noise." He motioned behind him. "My horse will take us." She don't run from storms. Neither, she suspected, did he. Outside the station waited a massive chestnut horse with a glossy mane. "Her name's Spirit," Barrett said. "She's carried all 9 of my young ones. And now she'd carry you to the place your life starts over." For the first time since her marriage shattered, Eleanor felt the faint throb of possibility. The moment she climbed onto the horse behind Barrett, she felt his steady strength. His coat smelled of pine and cold wind. His presence was grounding, protective, safe, scared. He asked as they started riding. "A little, that's good," he said gently. All roads worth taking start with a little fear. The snow thickened, the climb steepened. But Barrett's hand remained firm at her waist, guiding her through the storm. Far ahead, the ridge glowed like a hidden world. Up there, he said, is where people don't judge. Where love grows slow and strong. And for the first time, Eleanor believed she might finally belong somewhere. By the time they reached Barrett's homestead, dusk painted the sky in bruised purples. Warm light glowed from the cabin windows, spilling across the snow like a promise. Before Eleanor could breathe, the front door burst open. 9 children, of every height and age, raced out laughing, shouting, boots flying through snow. Instead of fear, something inside her fluttered. They weren't chaos. They were alive. Papa's home. The smallest girl squealed, launching herself at Barrett. He caught her easily, lifting her high, grinning with his whole soul. Eleanor froze. She had never seen a father look at his children with that much love. No resentment, no burden, just joy. Then the children noticed her eyes widening, whispering among themselves. Not judging, curious, hopeful. Barrett set the little girl down and nodded toward Eleanor. Kids, this here is Miss Eleanor. She's a friend. She's been hurt, so mind your manners and give her the warmth this family stands for. 9 little faces turned toward her, soft, open, welcoming. The oldest boy stepped forward. Ma'am, you cold? We saved bread by the fire. Her throat tightened painfully. Kindness always hurt the most. Inside, the cabin felt like stepping into a different life. Fire crackling, stew simmering, quilts stacked neatly, boots lined by the door. It wasn't luxurious, but it breathed love in every corner, every detail. Eleanor touched a handmade wooden toy on the shelf. Someone had carved it with patience and tenderness. No shouting, no tension, no fear, just safety. Something she hadn't known since childhood. At dinner, Barrett watched her quietly, not with expectation but concern. Eat slow, he said. You've likely been living on scraps. She blushed, embarrassed. I haven't eaten a hot meal in days. One of the girls gently pushed her own portion toward Eleanor. You can have mine, she whispered. Eleanor shook her head, fast tears threatening. She had never been offered such innocent generosity. After the meal, Barrett lit a lantern and motioned for her to step outside. Snowflakes drifted softly, turning the world silver. You're thinking about leaving, he said calmly. Her breath hitched. I don't belong here. Barrett turned to her, eyes steady. You belong where you're loved. And this family, they're already looking at you like they're missing piece. The words cut deep because she wanted to believe them. But Barrett, she whispered, I can't give you children. He stepped closer, voice low, gentle. Eleanor, I already have 9. I don't need more. But what I need, he interrupted, is a partner. A heart strong enough to help raise them. A woman who knows pain and still chooses kindness. Her breath trembled. No man had ever valued her heart over her body. Barrett took her hand, rough palm warming her chilled fingers. Your worth isn't in what you can produce, he said. It's in who you are, and who you are is someone I don't want to let walk away. Her heartbeat stuttered. In the faint lantern light, he looked like a man carved from the mountain itself, solid, patient, unshakable. She had spent her life begging someone to stay. This man was asking her to. Before she could speak, the cabin door creaked. The smallest girl, barefoot, curls, wild, peeked out shyly. Miss Eleanor, can you tuck me in? Papa says ladies give softer hugs. Eleanor's breath cracked. Barrett stepped back, giving her space. She followed the child inside and sat on the tiny bed. The girl wrapped little arms around her neck, trusting her instantly. In that moment, something inside Eleanor finally broke open. Later, when the children slept, she stood alone by the fire, staring at the dancing flames. The cabin smelled like pine and bread and warmth. A home. She realized she wasn't afraid of Barrett. She was afraid of happiness, afraid it might disappear if she reached for it. But the truth was simple. For the first time since her husband left, she didn't feel useless. She felt needed. Barrett approached quietly, voice softened. "I'm not asking for a vow tonight," he said. "Just a choice. Stay one day, one sunrise. If you still feel lost, I'll ride you wherever you want to go. No pressure. No chains." Eleanor looked around at the sleeping children, at the fire, at the man offering her freedom, not ownership. Her heart made its choice first. "I'll stay," she whispered. Barrett's shoulders dropped in relief. A smile tugged at his lips, not triumphant, but grateful. "Then you'll have a room, food, warmth, and a family." She swallowed hard. "A family?" "9 little reasons to smile," he said gently, "and one stubborn mountain man who wants you by his side." That night, Eleanor lay beneath a quilt hand-stitched by the children. Snow fell softly outside, but for the first time she didn't shiver. Barrett's words replayed in her mind. Family isn't blood. Family is love. For so long she thought she was empty, broken, unworthy. But here, in this mountain cabin, she realized she wasn't lacking. She was finally being seen. At dawn, Barrett knocked gently on her door. "Eleanor?" She opened it before he could finish. "I'm not staying for one day," she said. "I'm staying for good." Barrett's eyes softened with a warmth that melted every frozen fear inside her. "Then welcome home," he whispered. And for the first time in her life, she stepped into a future where love wasn't earned, it was given freely.